We'll get started for our final talk for this morning. I would like to welcome Adriana and Renata, Senior Staff and Developer at Lightstep, and Renata, Manager Solution Architect at 1Password. Adriana is helping companies achieve reliability greatness through observability, SRE, and DevOps practices. Renata has been working in the cloud engineering for the past 15 years, and they're here today to talk about beyond platform engineering, engineering the past, hacking the present, and transform the future.
Salut Montréal! Bonjour, et nous sommes extrêmement heureuses d'être ici aujourd'hui avec vous. Malheureusement, ce talk n'est pas en français. Welcome to Platform Engineering. We are super excited to be here in one of our favorite Canadian cities. Now, before we get started, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Adriana Villela. I'm originally from Brazil. I've been living in Canada for about 35 years. I've been doing computer things since I was 10, which makes me very old. I am a CNCF ambassador, HashiCorp ambassador, blogger, podcaster. I do have a day job. I'm a senior staff developer advocate at ServiceNow Cloud Observability. Save that 5 times fast, dare you. I spend most of my time in the observability space. I'm actually one of the maintainers of the OTel end user SIG. And by night, I like to climb walls. I actually checked out Block Shop here in Montréal a couple of times. And my superpower is the capybara because they make me happy.
Bonjour Montréal. Français est ma troisième langue. Je parle portugais, anglais, and petit peu de français. So today I'll be speaking in English because I assume a lot of people here don't speak Portuguese, right? Yes, yeah, I was right. I am a manager of solutions architecture at 1Password. I have been working with computers since last century, and I assume a lot of people here have not been born last century. We will be talking about the past a lot, but also about the present and the future. My superpower are cats. We are going to be seeing a lot of cats today. It's my influence on this talk. Everyone loves cats, right? The internet is made of cats. So why don't we get started and address not the cat, but the elephant in the room?
So first of all, I have to thank Sasha for her talk yesterday because she planted a lot of the seeds of what we're going to talk about today. Secondly, the fact that you're in this room and you didn't roll your eyes when you saw the title of this talk going, oh my god, not another one of these talks, because let's face it, we've been through DevOps transformations. We have been through teams that were ops rebranded as SRE, maybe ops rebranded as platform engineering. And of course, let's not forget all the slew of tools that come along with these things, right? DevOps tools, platform engineering tools, SRE tools. And so now we're saying there's this thing that comes after platform engineering. What the hell? Bear with us, there is method to this madness, and we will be taking you on a little journey today.
Yes, in the before times. Let's travel back in the past, okay? In the beginning. In the sysadmin times, managing a bunch of computers was challenging. How many of you here remember that? Yeah, quite a lot of hands. Good for you. I do remember that as well. Managing a bunch of computers, it was not like managing the cloud. It was hard. It was like basically only me and the computers. We used to telnet to computers. Can you believe that? Yeah, that was so not safe. But turns out it was interesting. Let's put it that way, right? Computers were huge. Some of them used to take up a whole room. Maybe you can still find some of those in a bank. Yeah, banks, right? Yeah. Computers were elite. Matrix made us look very, very cool. Look at me, I totally look like Trinity. How many of you have seen Matrix? I'm tall, I wear black, right? Yes, super cool. Yeah. Processing power took a lot of time and also cost a lot of money. Can you believe that like this smartphone here in my hand has more processing power than the computers that send people to the moon? Let's send every single one of us to the moon right here, right now, like Fatboy Slim. And managing many computers at a time was kind of scary because we had to write lots of shell scripts, lots of Perl scripts. I still remember a lot of Perl from back in the day, back in last century. Saying that feels good, makes me feel kind of like ancient, like a dinosaur from computers. Yeah, it was cool. I still remember a lot of Perl, but thankfully, I don't have to use that much Perl these days anymore. We had servers right at our feet, like quite literally. I have worked at many places where the servers were like right under my desk or like right beside me. That felt really powerful. I'm going to use that word many times today because it's all about the power. We've got the power! Yeah, the human and computer connection was strong. Not like in Neo, connected directly to the matrix with a thing behind my neck, although I have a thing behind my neck today. But we were like directly connected to the computers. If we were having a bad day, trust me, the servers were not going to do very well. But it was also so much fun, and there are some days that I feel like, man, I'm going to run like a Gentoo stage 1 on my home server just because I feel, yes, I was a Gentoo person. Trust me, I was part of the Gentoo Brazilian team back in the day. I am that old, and it was so much fun. I miss that. So yeah, it was fun AF. Yeah, then systems got very complex, and internet and microservices kind of made things complicated. We had to change the way we architect our things, and we added a lot of complexity, microservices and whatnot. Oops. But the cloud happened. Oh my God. I remember the first time I touched the cloud in my life. It was a coworker of mine who said, hey, Renata, look at this thing. I think you're going to like it. And he was so right. I was like, I can spin up servers in a minute. Everything changed forever in my life. I was absolutely in love with that thing, and here I am today. Right? We are not in Kansas anymore, baby. Yeah. We have tons of computer power right at our fingertips, like quite literally. Just type and computer happens. It is magic. Everyone, not only me, but everyone here has tons of servers. And my God! And like I said, you can spin up tons of servers, and not only servers, but like lots of services. Like we saw earlier today, Amazon does crazy stuff, APIs, serverless, etc. In a matter of minutes, the cloud is the limit, literally. And now, the nowish times. What is happening now?
So, as we mentioned before, DevOps, platform engineering, SRE, sometimes all this stuff sounds like it's the same thing, slightly different flavors. And I know everyone's got different opinions on what these terms mean, and we also have our opinions, and we're going to impose them upon you today, because that's why we're here. But all jokes aside, when we talk about DevOps, the way that we like to think of it is it's the anchor for all the things, right? And it's the anchor for SRE, platform engineering. Everything is an evolution from DevOps. So in keeping that in mind, we define DevOps as basically giving us those fundamental principles of collaboration. Everything is code, automating all the things, and rapid feedback loops. Then we had site reliability engineering, or SRE, which is basically DevOps, but we also care about things like customer impact and reliability. And then finally, we have our friend platform engineering, which is basically an extension of SRE with the added focus on the internal customer, i.e. the developer. So if everything is an evolution from DevOps, it stands to reason that perhaps there is going to be something else that comes after platform engineering. But what is that going to be? Now, to understand that, we can travel a little back into the past for inspiration. We can look at DevOps itself. If DevOps is the anchor for all of these things, we expect our new platform engineering successor to be rooted in DevOps. We might look at some vendors. So HashiCorp introduced this thing called, yes. HashiCorp introduced this thing called the infrastructure cloud, which they themselves admit is basically a repackaging of existing stuff. So they have all these tools that actually play really nice with each other. So they introduced a cloud offering in which you have access to all these tools playing well together, which is a great story. Because one of the things that's super annoying about all the tooling that we have at our disposal is that we're constantly having to do integrations. And on top of that, we're also having to reinvent the wheel several times. The automations that we did 3 jobs ago, we had to do again 2 jobs ago, and maybe last job and current job. Wouldn't it be nice if we had this centralized marketplace where we could just grab these common automations from? And on-prem virtualization. There's been, the move away from on-prem to cloud because it's so nice to have somebody else manage your machines. But we have the comfort of on-prem because we manage our own staff, so we have that extra bit of security. And, like virtualization, it's technology that's definitely not dead. So there's something to be said about leveraging that technology still. But we can also turn to the future for inspiration. Just as I was saying that we were shifting to the public cloud, maybe we might want to pull back a little bit and have a hybrid kind of situation where we have a little bit of public cloud, a little bit of private cloud, use private cloud for things where we need a little bit extra security, and public cloud for all those other things where we are happy to let someone else manage our hardware for us. Observability, my bread and butter, my favorite thing in the world. Observability gives us insight into our application and our infrastructure, and why not our delivery pipelines? Who would have thought? And it's extremely important because if you can't get your code to production and you don't know why, then basically you're stuck. And then finally, AI. We love to hate it. We hate to love it. It's there. All hail our evil AI overlord, Skynet. Hello. But seriously, the thing with AI is it's great at processing a bunch of information. It's great at picking out a bunch of patterns, so why not leverage it for some good, where we make AI basically our buddy, our co-pilot, right? I mean, we're using that in various contexts anyway, so why not in this space as well, where AI can say, hey, you might want to look at this, and be like, okay, yeah, that looks super cool, or otherwise say, yeah, AI, you're full of shit, never mind, but at least it's giving you some suggestions, right? So what does our platform engineering successor look like then in the end? More of the same, but with a little bit extra. Surprise, surprise, spoiler alert, right? So that means that we want things like codifying all the things, still useful to us. Continuous collaboration, yeah, we need to collaborate, we can't live in an island. Continuous testing, obviously, we want to continue testing our code. We don't want to just send it into prod without being tested. It won't be perfect, but at least you know that it won't be crap, and if it turns out to be crap, you can send it back and work on it right away because of those continuous feedback loops. Security. Now, I know we've been talking about shifting left on security. I don't really think we've managed to shift left on security, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to try to shift left on security, but fortunately we're seeing a lot of policy as code products come out, which I think is going to be super helpful. As I mentioned earlier, fast feedback loops with the power of observability. Our technology is changing so much that we have to be able to keep up with it. It's getting way too complex. We need things like observability to help us through that. Better integration, as I said, it would be nice if our tools played nice with each other and not have us spend so much time integrating, because that's annoying. And again, AI as an assistive technology. So now, you don't have to take our word for it. I'm going to play a little clip and do a little bit of shameless self-promotion. This is my podcast, Geeking Out. Charity Majors was one of the guests, and she has some thoughts on what she calls Observability 2.0.
What we're seeing in the field is that there's a real huge step function difference between, let's call it Observability 1.0, which is about metrics, like 3 pillars, right? And Observability 2.0, which is based on a single source of truth. And it's not just the technology, because Ollie 1.0 is very much about MTTR, MTTD, reliability, uptime. It's a check mark so before you send your code to production to make sure that it's observable. And Observability 2.0 is about, it's like It's the foundation of the software development lifecycle. It defines your velocity, how fast you can ship, how well you can ship, the quality of what you ship, your ability to iterate quickly, your ability to identify what your customers are actually doing and why, and build on that. It's your ability to see what's happening in the wild and make decisions based on real data, and then feed them back. This is all about feedback loops, right? And it's about learning.
Yeah. And then also, I want to include a clip from Kelsey Hightower on my podcast, because he's got some very interesting things about the future of Kubernetes.
I want to address that a lot, because there are some people that think I am the biggest Kubernetes fan in the world, and I am not. I actually spent the last 4 years working on replacements. I spent so much time at Google Cloud working on serverless just to make Kubernetes go away. I learned everything about it because I think the best people that will replace it are the people who understand it the most. Mm-hmm. And the way I look at Kubernetes is very different. People look at it as a tool that is competing with their other favorite tool or some alternative ways of doing things. To me, Kubernetes is just another word in the dictionary. And my focus has always been, what does it mean? And as a contributor, what should it mean? And when I think about it as an aggregation of the previous 10-year set of techniques, and you push them all together, you get this thing. And I study that thing for like, wow, we've come a long way since those days. Also, you can see what's missing. And I think that part is where, like, for me, that's inspiring. Oh.
So with that in mind, and by the way, I want to say that I absolutely agree with Kelsey Hightower. I can't wait for something to come after Kubernetes. What shall we call our next creation? Because what comes next needs a name, right? We always need a name for what we are working on. So we came up with some cool ideas. Some are ours, and I'm going to warn you, I'm not the most creative person out there. Engineers are notoriously not very creative people. We also relied on ChatGPT, and you're going to know what is ChatGPT created. And we also relied on the community, which is the creative part of it, to come up with the new platform engineering name that we are going to suggest. So brace yourselves. Here we are. The first one is DataOps, because it's like a delta of things, and it has ops in the name, right? So cool. Yeah, I'm very creative. The next one, it's NextOps. Wow, I'm a genius. Third one, Synergineering. Wow, yeah, we are going to get acquired by IBM for $10 billion. Absolutely. Fourth one, same vibe. Future engineering. Welcome to Future Engineering 2025, the replacement of DevOps days. Yes. And the last one, community suggested, Cloud Gardener. Yeah. I love gardening. Like, it's so zen, so beautiful. We just take care of our things. We don't look into the end result. Just take care of the beauty of the cloud. Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to give 1 minute for you to scan this QR code and vote on what we are going to call this.
So you'll get 2 Jeopardy songs to vote.
So proud of you. This is going so well.
Do you need more time?
Do you need more time? Yes? No? Maybe?
We good?
Good?
Okay.
Okay.
And the winner is?
The results are in. The Oscar of Platform DevOps Cloud GitOps Engineering is, wait, have to look at, not wearing my glasses, okay, and I'm old, is Cloud Gardener. I'm so proud of you.
Congratulations.
Hooray. Can't wait to meet you all at Cloud Gardening Days 2025. Thank you so much. Well, wrap-up times. So now that we know what we want in our future platform engineering, sorry, 1 second. We are just collecting info here, okay? We don't want to force this on you.
Oh, one back.
One back. I'm so sorry. I left my speaker notes on the other. It's been fun, but as Q said on Star Trek TNG, all good things must come to an end. Yes.
And so we leave you with some final thoughts to ponder. First of all, we want to make it super clear that we are not doing this to get likes. This is not a popularity contest. We're not trying to impose this on anyone. We don't want this to go viral.
Yep. We are just collecting information from what you here are already doing, we all here are already doing. This is not something that is being pressured in the community. This is just happening right here, right now. This is the present. This is the community building together. We are the collective. We are creating the cloud gardening. Yeah, you did this, okay? I didn't do it. We did this together. And technology is fast, technology is dynamic, and this is why we love it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be working with it, right?
And finally, you know, it's important to realize that the jobs that Renata and I did when we started in tech 20 plus gajillion years ago are super different from the jobs that we do now. Technology is fast, we have to keep up. We can't keep up with all the things, but we have to keep up enough so that we stay relevant. So this is just an acknowledgement that technology is evolving, deal. And so we will leave you with a final thought from Battlestar Galactica. This has all happened before.
And this will happen again. Sounds like a threat. So yeah, as you notice, none of the images were created by humans. They were created by our AI mentioned. Overlords, you should collect some money for every time AI has been mentioned in this conference. So thank you, being AI, for drawing much better than I ever be able to. I really try to learn how to draw. It just doesn't work for me. So thank you, our AI overlords.
And it provided us with hours of entertainment because we couldn't stop laughing while we were making the slides. So.
Yeah.
And also doing some resources and shameless self-promotion. Scan the QR code to check out my podcast, Geeking Out. You've seen guests Kelsey Hightower and Charity Majors, and Renata was one of my early guests, so extra reason to check it out. Also, if you're interested in the infrastructure cloud from HashiCorp, got a link for that. And for anyone interested in the observability of CI/CD pipelines, I co-wrote an article in the New Stack about this based on a talk that I did with Reese Lee at Observability Day North America last year. And with that, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Obrigada. Gracias. How many languages we can do that?
Hi. So you talked about the future, and I think I understood that Kubernetes will basically disappear for new technologies like Lambda and function apps and stuff like that. But at some point, don't you fear we will not understand what we are doing anymore, just spinning stuff in the background and hope it all works out?
I hope not.
I remember the first time I was introduced to Kubernetes. I felt like, wow, this is such a convoluted way to do this thing. Why are we doing it this way? And I have a talk about how I feel Kubernetes is a hype. I haven't changed my mind because every cloud and every conference you go, there is like a layer of abstraction to Kubernetes. So everyone, I feel like everyone agrees with me that like Kubernetes itself is very complicated, and then people keep trying to create a way to make Kubernetes easy. And like Kelsey Hightower says, he has been working on a way to solve it. So I kind of hope that it goes away and we solve the Kubernetes problem. So I may be biased, okay? I think we created a bigger problem than it should be, and we should be trying to solve it as well.
Yeah, I agree. And when I said I hope not, I mean, I hope that we don't get to the point where we are unaware of what's going on beneath the surface. Because I think when we start being unaware of what's going on beneath the surface, we're starting to take the technology for granted. And I think, you know, yes, technology helps us, but like we still need to know what makes the wheels turn.
I see some people nodding on the audience, so yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, thank you very much.
Merci.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, just going up the stairs on the other way, so we spice it up. We'll get to lunch in about 30 seconds. We just have some quick announcement. As we resume the lunch time together, we'll have Susa come on stage for a quick raffle. So we'll invite you all to come on stage about like 1 p.m. Don't be late. You don't want to miss the big raffle. It's an amazing price. Like, I've checked it out. It's pretty nice.
Donc, c'est ça, on vous invite à monter au 3e étage pour le lunch. J'ai vu la table, c'est magnifique, ça a l'air appétissant. Puis, revenez pour 13 heures. On va faire le concours avec le commanditaire Siusa. Et on va aussi vous faire jouer une petite vidéo pour apprendre à prononcer correctement le nom.
Une après-midi super excitante qui s'en vient. On a hâte de vous présenter tout ça. Bon appétit tout le monde.
Bon appétit. Merci à tous et à toutes.